Joe.
We would like to call to order the October 15, 2013 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. If you would, please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'd like to introduce the board members, starting on my right.
Rita Young.
Christopher Brewer, Larry Willis.
Nancy Plesnarski.
Walter Cook.
Let me read the sign variance consideration. Relief only to the signed ordinance may be granted where existing foliage or structures bring about a hardship whereby a sign meeting the minimum letter size, square footage, and height requirements cannot be read from an adjoining public road. This time we need to approve the September meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Losing my voice.
Yes, you are.
Discussion? All in favor of approving the September meeting minutes, raise your right hand. Let it be known that it passed 4-1 and Rita
I
Young
abstain,
abstained.
yes.
That would be 4 with one abstention.
0.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, I didn't oppose.
Did I say 4-1?
Meeting minutes.
I apologize, I didn't mean to.
4-0 and 1.
413-01033-15 Francis Road to allow second ground sign. Angela, will you please present?
Yes, sir. The site, 3315 Francis Road, is the location of the Community of Christ Church. It is located in the Northwest Fulton overlay. It is the temporary location of the Milton Senior Center, and in case you're interested, it's zoned AG1. In her letter of appeal, Melinda Ross proposes a wooden ground sign to announce the location of the Milton Senior Services. There is currently one ground sign identifying the church, but there is no room for information about the senior center. The proposed sign would be 4 square feet in size and 4 feet high, and will be located at least 15 feet back from the edge of the pavement. The sign will be temporary. It will be removed once the senior center relocates to the Hopewell House. Section 64-2303-21 of the City of Milton Sign Ordinance states that 1 freestanding sign per business or institutional lot shall be permitted for each street on which the lot has frontage. Since Ms. Ross is proposing a second sign, a variance is required. On September 10th, 2013, the DRB offered the following comments. This is a temporary sign until the Hopewell House project is complete. I have no other comments. Staff held a focus meeting on September 13th, 2013. Building plan review, site plan review, the arborist, and DOT stormwater all had no comments. These standards for consideration for a sign variance were read as earlier, and the applicant responds as follows. There is no identification on the building or the existing ground sign to let our seniors know that this is the location of the senior center. A sign is needed to promote community awareness of services provided for seniors in North Fulton and in the City of Milton. Depending on your perspective, the building may be obscured by trees. A sign identifying the senior center will reduce the incidence of slow-moving vehicles in the road trying to locate the building. Recommended conditions. Should the board choose to approve the application, staff recommends the following conditions. The sign shall be removed once the senior center is relocated to the Hopewell House. This concludes the staff presentation.
Any questions to staff or the attorney from the board?
May I?
Yes, sir.
Angela, I'm a little confused. There's one sign for the church that's there today. The senior center is essentially a second tenant at that same location, correct?
You could look at it that way.
So if we look at it that way, and they're asking us to put it, they're asking for a sign for themselves, and we allow one sign per tenant, why is this in front of us?
Well, it's one per business or institutional lot, so I guess to
You
be
have 2 businesses.
closer, it's an institution, it's considered an institution, so it's one organization on an institutional lot. So
And I'm really talking more for the future than particularly for for this case, and I don't want to delay you too long. But Counselor, aren't we being semantical to some degree? I mean, we have one nonprofit institution who's probably under one 501c3, then we have another one that's under a different 501c3s, i.e. two institutions or two businesses. Why is this in front of us?
Well, in all honesty, this is an interpretation of what the "or" is modifying, whether it's a business or institutional lot, or if it's a business or institutional lot. And I don't know how historically it's been interpreted. It sounds like, if you have two businesses in an agricultural district, can they each have a sign? I mean, historically.
Well, never had that come up before, but yes, technically they could. We considered this an institution as opposed to a business, and a school, church is typically considered an institution.
But
And
they're separate and distinct entities. There's no shared services between the two of them other than the building in which they reside.
Right.
There aren't staff that they share. They don't share proceeds, profit with one another.
You have to look up the definition of business.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, but that's good for future.
But it's,
In case there's something else that
right.
we do future.
Walter's going to ask this anyway.
Looking at the
I'm sorry, sir.
the general definition. I don't know if I'm even on here. Yes, I am. The term business means a use involving retailing, wholesaling, warehousing, outside storage, manufacturing, or delivery of services, regardless of whether payment is involved. Arguably, it doesn't sound like this would necessarily qualify as a business, the Senior Services Center.
Services.
Delivery of certain, well, maybe it could.
Yeah, I would say it could.
Zoning-wise, we always consider churches, schools, institutions, as opposed to business.
No, and I understand that, but it's,
Well, the
again,
church
I'm talking about the future, not necessarily what's in front of us today, but my 2 cents is this shouldn't be in front of us. For what it's worth. I'll stop asking questions and move on.
Any
What
other
would be a fire department? What would be a
Government
park?
institution.
So, in other words, if it's a service center, be it fire, parks,
Church, school, public safety.
seniors, that's, I think, what you're
Mhm.
looking at as well. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions to staff? At this time, we'd like to ask the applicant to please come forward and present, and if you would state your name and address for the board, we'd certainly appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Melinda Ross, and I am with the Milton Senior Center located at the Community of Christ Church at 3315 Francis Road, Milton. We are asking for a sign for the senior center because basically folks can't find us. And a lot of folks in the community are not even familiar with Francis Road, much less the Community of Christ Church. So it's been a challenge trying to give directions to seniors to get to the church because there are 2 churches on Francis Road. When you make a left off of Highway 9, some have been going to the first church, even though we tell them it's the second church, because they're called, I think, Maybury Church or something along those lines, but at the very bottom it's like a community of something church, so there's so much confusion because we don't have a sign. And, you know, our goal is to serve seniors in the Fulton County, especially in the Milton area. We provide transportation for those folks that no longer drive, and we provide a hot, nutritious meal every day for those seniors that, you know, that may need that, or it's a safe place for them to come. But they need to find us.
Any questions to the applicant from the board?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
When is your permanent location? When will that be ready?
The city of Milton, what I was told, the Hopewell House supposedly is going to be ready in April. Whether that happens, I don't know.
Any other questions? Is there any foliage or trees or structures that would hinder the viewing of the sign that's already there from the road?
The church sign?
Yeah, because our main reason to approve these would be because there's something that obscures the visual aspect of the sign.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Any other questions to the applicant from the board members? Yes, sir?
Just out of curiosity, why did you choose a white background and dark letters?
I mean, I'm happy to do whatever you would like. I just had a sign company do a mock-up sign for us, so I would have something to present.
I'll just tell you from a human factors, sometimes a darker background of white letters does show up a little bit better. And, but it's up to you.
Trouble in my house.
We
And
can't tell you anything about the message on the sign or the words, but just from a standpoint
Okay.
of visualizing it, you need to be concerned about the size of letters as well as the background.
Right, because of, especially with seniors, because of vision issues.
Yeah.
And also, I would want to ask them what would be easier for them to read. Would it be a white background with dark, or vice versa? Kind of get their input too.
When you look at a stop sign, you'll get the idea. Or
Yeah.
you look at a guidance sign going down the highway, green background, white letters, brown background, white letters. You'll understand why I'm saying street name sign, same thing. So I'm just telling you from a human factors, I think
Sure.
you'll find
I
that it's a
appreciate
little
that.
bit easier to read.
Are you going to light this sign at night?
No.
Thank you. Any other questions? You can have a seat. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
As there's no public comment, any other questions to the staff or to the attorney? This time I'd like to close the public hearing, and the floor is open for a motion.
I move to,
Yes, ma'am, go ahead. Yep.
I'll move to approve the V13-010 Senior Services North Fulton to allow a second ground sign with the, hold on. With the standards of consideration and the recommended conditions that the sign shall be removed once the senior center is relocated at Hopewell House.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second from Rita Young. Any discussion?
One quick question.
Sure.
Should we, to your point about lighting, should we add an amendment to that there shall be no external lighting? Or is that over?
I think since they don't have it, Counselor, or Angela, since they don't have that down on there, we don't have to,
Include or
we don't
exclude?
have to
It's
include.
not required to be lit. And they're thinking it's probably, the center just runs through the
Yeah.
day.
That's temporary.
Yeah, it's only
It's
temporary.
Let's keep it as is, never mind. I'm good.
Any other discussion?
Shall we explain why we're making our?
She did. Yes, sir. We have a motion to approve and a second to allow a second ground sign with one condition, that should be the sign shall be removed once the senior center is relocated to the Hopewell House. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
There you go.
can.
Good luck.
You
Thank
too.
We shall.
Bye-bye.
Wish you were here last week, so we wouldn't have to be here this week.
Any,
Right?
any new business? Any, pardon me?
So you all almost had a month off. Actually, I don't think we have any for next month. So,
We're just thinking.
Wow,
Party.
November Thanksgiving
See?
gift for us.
Any old business? Any new business? We need a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
A little more specific.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this wonderful meeting for this evening.
We have a second.
I second it.
Discussion. All in favor of adjournment, raise your right hand. Left, same sign. Have a great night. Council